about it, it's conical. It's the exact same amount of tubing as you would get in a normal trumpet, but the conical nature of the flugelhorn, like Brian said, gives it a nice, soft, rounder sound. Like with a trumpet, since it's cylindrical, we have a more direct sound. But with the flugelhorn, it kind of softens that up a bit. Kind of helps us blend a little bit more with our conical brethren.
So you hear that difference, right, boys and girls? Right. So.
Now, since we've already introduced the flugelhorn, I'll put that one down. But can I introduce you to one of my absolute favorite trumpets?
Yes, please.
So I have this one here. I don't know if you guys saw it. And it's got an extra valve, just for various reasons, but we won't get into that. Does anyone know what this is called? No? It is called a piccolo trumpet.
Oh.
Does anyone know what piccolo means?
Little.
Yes, yeah, it's the Italian word for little or small. So it's literally a small trumpet. Now, a normal trumpet is about 5.5 to 6 feet, right, Charlie? I can never remember. This is exactly half that much. So knowing what we know about the size of instrument and what that does to the sound, what is this going to do? Is this going to be lower or higher? Higher, yes. There you go, yeah. So if you come tomorrow, you'll hear us use this on a certain piece. And we use this a lot during this time of year because this is really great for like church and Christmas music. It's very bright, very shining, very festive. Let me know if you guys recognize this one. So we use this to hit all of our super high notes and kind of cut through to make sure everyone knows that we're there. I mean, not that they wouldn't. But I have some other toys I'd like to show you, just because Charlie brought them up. What does the mute button do on your TV? Right, it turns the sound off. These are what we call mutes, but they don't really do that, so it's kind of a funny name for them. We use these to change our sound. We use these in all kinds of different situations. Like this one we use in a lot of different classical settings, and this is called a straight mute. It's not really straight, it's kind of curved, right? I don't really get where the name comes from myself. And everyone kind of has a variation of this. All the brass instruments have their own variations on different mutes, especially the straight mute. But we use this one to get a really nice, like buzzy, sort of like cutting, piercing sound. So like, so we use that in like a lot of different symphonies and stuff. This is used a lot in classical music. However, I have another mute. This is called a cup mute. Can anyone tell me why? It does look like a cup. I really wouldn't recommend drinking out of it because it doesn't really work for that. But you'll see this in a lot of like musicals, a lot of jazz music. You get this in like big band and stuff. And we use this to not overpower, woodwinds, singers, all kinds of stuff. Maybe to give it a little bit softer sound, like. So it kind of like helps us blend a little bit more with the woodwinds and stuff. But my personal favorite that I have here today, it's commonly called a Harman mute, but that's just because the most popular brand was Harman, who made these. It's actually called a wah-wah mute, and I'll show you why it does that in a second. It actually has two functions. If I take this out, have you guys ever listened to Miles Davis before?
Yes.
Yeah, he used this one all the time, especially later in his career.
Right. Yeah. Amazing.
Kind of like cafe, smoky jazz sort of sound. But if I take this stem and put it back in, this is everyone loves this. This is all going to be all your favorites. This is why it's called the wah-wah mute. See, I told you. So there are plenty of others. I have a bag with like maybe 15 others, and they're all made of like wood. There's different fiberboards, different metals, brass, aluminum, copper. There's tons. But yeah, so that's one of my favorite things about being a trumpet player is that I get to use all these fun tools and toys. And Sandra earlier had